Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises and double honors due to Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach wa Malak Yahweh Shai. Secondly, this is Brother Yardan, the PFI Detroit, coming back at you with the end of the cold cut. Today in this cold cut, we will be explaining why women cannot wear pants in the truth. Alright? And I would say it's unfortunate that we have to go over this because this is something in the law that's black and white. In other words, it's plain upon tables. So it should be very easy for one to understand. However, you're going to have Israelites saying otherwise. But it's not too surprising because a prophecy must be fulfilled. All right, let's bring out a precept. This is 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. I'll start at verse 1. I charge thee therefore before God and the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. All right. And in this video, actually by the end of this video, Abaratazah, Israel will be reproved. Right. And sometimes there's a reproof that's not comely. That's Sirach chapter 20. Let's bring it out real quick. This is Sirach chapter 20, verse 1. There is a reproof that is not comely. Right? Again, some man holdeth his tongue, and he is wise. It is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly, and he that confesseth his fault shall be preserved from hurt. How good is it when thou art reproved to shew repentance? For so shalt thou escape woeful sin. And in this video, we're going to explain to you, right through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, that woman in the truth, knowing that you're an Israelite, knowing you have to keep the commandments, right, that you cannot wear pants. Let me go back to 2 Timothy 4 and 2. Preach the word, be instant, out of season, slack in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Right? And we're going to continue to exhort Israel, right? According to Hebrews 3 and 13, we're going to continue to exhort Israel daily, right? That what? That you can't wear pants, right? This really pertains to the Israelite woman. You cannot wear pants. And you Israelite men as well, who may teach this terrible doctrine. Verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Right? It's a fable to say that women can wear pants. And again, all throughout history, even the nations, I'm sick I gotta bring in the nations, but even the nations and their women, they wore what? Long robes, garments, right? They didn't wear pants. That was foreign to them. That was not their norm. Not the Moabites, not the Ammonites, definitely not the Ishmaelites. Their women did not wear pants. But when Esau came on the scene during the 1600s, what did they do? So it's like not in the 1600s, but the 1970s, their women started to wear pants. Right, the 60s and 70s, a lot of the women started to wear pants. And then that philosophy, that idea, that notion that it's acceptable started to what? It became a cancer, and it spread to the other nations. Now all the other nations and their women, they wear pants. You walk outside, you'll see an Arabic woman wearing pants. You'll see a so-called Chinese woman wearing pants. So-called Hawaiian woman wearing pants. Right? All these nations are wearing pants all because of Esau. All right? Who is known for being that harlot. So let's read Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Right? Again, this should be black and white. This should be simple and plain. You understand? It tells us 2 Ezra 14:2. What does it say? And, and I said, Here am I, Lord, and I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush did I manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up unto the mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and shewed him secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these words shalt thou hide. So certain words were declared unto Moses to make plain in black and white for us, for our understanding, and other things that were made hidden and kind of written parabolically, right, metaphorically. You understand? For an example, beginning of Genesis, right, where Adam and Eve is on the scene, and the trees and the serpent, all of that is hidden, right? He didn't make it black and white, right? But what? When you read the law, that's black and white. That's revealed. That should be plain. So when it says in Deuteronomy 22:5, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination to the Lord thy God, that should be plain and black and white, along with everything else that follows after this verse. It's all black and white. But when Israel see this, they say, hold up. It's really going into this. This is really double fold, no triple fold. When you go into the Hebrew, it actually means X, Y, and Z. Come on, brothers. Come on, sisters. Why are you going so far to kind of, why are you making this such a big thing? This is black and white. I'm not going to go into the Hebrew and kind of explain why Deuteronomy 22:11 isn't really what it says right there. You can't be simple in this thing. You have to use wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment that the Lord Most High gave you to properly understand and see that this is what? Men wearing women clothing and a woman wearing men clothing. Right? But it's not enough for Israel. So let's bring out Deuteronomy 22:5 in the Blue Letter Bible. All right, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. In Israel, we'll go to man and it'll say gabar, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because there's no E in the Hebrew. Gabar. And they say this is what? Valiant men like apparel. You understand? This is what they say it is. Warlike apparel. You don't, come on now. Warlike apparel? Are you kidding me? That's very lazy for a doctrine. That's very lazy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 22 and 5 again, and let's see where am I at? What is oneness? So what I wanted, Salakia. Right, so it's just for garments, it's feminine noun, wrapper, mantle, covering, garment, clothing, raiment. So what's stopping an Israelite from saying, I can wear a dress? What's stopping him from saying I can wear a dress? Because Deuteronomy 22:5 isn't really what it's talking about. You can't get on that, brother, then. You can't say a dress is effeminate or it's strictly for women. You understand? So, again, you can't be simple in this thing. You have to use wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and true proper discernment. All right, it can't get more plain than that. Let me bring out a precept. This is Isaiah 47:2. I said, 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. How do you uncover your thigh? You do it by lifting up a what? You don't lift up first of all, even when you're wearing pants, you can't show your thigh while you wear your pants. You can't cover. You can't. It don't work like that. You make bare your legs when you lift up the dress, right? The same way in those old TV shows and movies, when those women hitchhikers, they might be wearing a dress or a skirt or whatever, and they kind of put out their leg. They make bare their leg. It's like their thigh. They uncover their thigh. All right. But if that's not enough for Jake might be saying, "Hold up, you're not really explaining right. That's not enough. That's just the parable." Let's bring out another one. Now, this is a classic. We understand in Isaiah the 3rd chapter that Zion is likened to a woman, right? Zion is likened to a woman when you read the scriptures. So I'm going to get straight to the point. Isaiah 3:18. In that day the Lord will take away the beauty of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calves, and their round tires like the moon, and the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers and the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings and the rings and the nose jewels. And I want to pause, right? All these things are typically things that women will wear. Not to say a man can't have a, band ring on a finger or a chain, but we know that this is speaking about a woman, right? Or this is Israel being likened unto a woman. Brian's going into the apparel traditionally what a woman might wear. You understand? Let's not be simple. Verse 22. The changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins. So let's see what changeable suits are. Right, a robe. Easily drawn off. Or pants easily drawn off, right? Robes of ladies. It didn't say pants, it didn't say a belt. Robes of ladies, right? So you had garments specifically tailored for women, and they didn't have breeches under it, right? But that wasn't a thing in the ancient world. How do we know? Because who were breeches made for? Literally for men. Let's bring it out. That's Exodus 28:42. And thou shalt make them linen breeches. This is Aaron and his sons, right? And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, for their loins, even unto the thighs, they shall reach. right? You Google breeches, I already Googled it, right? These are breeches. These are where breeches are. But guess what? They have robes over those breeches. Leviticus 6 and 10. And the priest shall put on his linen garments, and the linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed with the burnt offering of the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And guess what? Guess what? We're the priests of the Lord now, right? So don't try to sneak and weasel your way out of this by saying, well, this only applies to Levi. The men of the Lord that you see today, they're the priests of the Lord, right? It's not written in First Peter. So let me get a few more. Jeremiah 13 and 26. Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. So in the scriptures, why do you always see and read the word skirts in a garment? It's like skirts in if I'm not mistaken, dress. Because women wore skirts and dresses. This is what they wore. You would never see, and the Lord, could have easily put breeches. Lord could have said, I will discover thy breeches. I shall discover thy pants. He said skirts. This is what Israel wore, right? Israelite woman. You understand? Now, and again, let's not be simple and say, oh, a traditional man's garment, that's a dress. Come on, brother. Don't be simple. Right? That's like saying an Elamite garment, their traditional so-called traditional garments. A Elamite man, his traditional garments is a dress. Come on, don't be simple. Let me Google this. Oops. I googled Arabic lawn garment, right? Because this is the best visual that we can get and understand, right? This is a dress. This is a robe, garment. You understand? You're not going to call this a dress and that's a dress. You got to understand one's tailored, it's like it with one's tailored for men and one's tailored for women. Right? Because if that's the case, are you going to tell Yahushua and the apostles y'all all wearing dresses? No, they got breeches on under that. You think this woman got breeches on under this? Come on. Come on now. Again, please don't be simple in this thing. Do not be simple, man. Well, this is Ishmael. That's I don't really want that, but you get the point, right? Yeah, we know that's not it. Bear with me. Check this out. Man, I'm not calling that a dress. You got to be a simpleton to kind of say that. So there is a difference. That'd be kind of tough if it didn't have that cross on it. But this is a garment. perfect representation of a garment. And guess what? He got breeches under it. So if you can't tell the difference, then hey, you got to kind of do some more studies on your own. But that's plain upon tables. That Deuteronomy 2 and 2 and 5. Right? This is Zephaniah 1 and 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice, I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such are clothed in strange apparel. That's double fold. That's Job 11 and 6. That's spiritual and physical. So that should be plain upon tables. But with that, I'm going to bid us or Shalom and read, pray, and study Baba Kashar. Shalom.